Hallo, wie geht's? Was ist los? Привет, добрый вечер. Hola, what's up? I was about to say hello in ancient Pali there for a second. This is a lens a lot of people keep asking me about. It's like one of the few lenses I hadn't gotten around to talking about, and that's the 17 to 55 f2.8. It's a DX NIKKOR lens. It's 14 elements and 10 groups, the 3 aspherical and the 3 ED elements. It is rather insanely expensive new. It's only $1,500 new, which is a lot of money, especially for a DX lens. I would never buy one of these new. I use this lens a fair amount. It's actually my favorite manual focus on my Fuji, and I'll say why in the next video. Why not kill two birds with one stone? But the truth of the matter is, there's a little secret about this lens, and it's like there's nothing secret about the $1,500 Japanese lens, and of course it's a DX lens. But the secret is that if someone is on a budget, and say they got a Nikon, enough money for a budget for a decent, well, I'm going to have a really awesome body, and I get asked this question all the time, really awesome body, but I don't have enough money for, say, this beast, the 2470 2.8 NIKKOR, which is a $2,000 lens. The price has dropped a little bit since the new 2470 2.8. This is the wedding / portraiture mid-range fast zoom lens. This lens has made more photographers more money than any other Nikon, period, flat out. But if someone has enough money barely to buy like a D750 and a D810, but they want a really awesome portraiture lens, you can grab these pretty much all day long because they're DX lenses. And it's a really high quality lens, and it's still a current production lens, for about $500 to $600. And the case is, this really is a DX twin of this. This is actually equivalent to 26 millimeters to 82 millimeters. So it's basically a 26 to 82 millimeter f2.8 lens. It is a really awesome lens. AFS, a silent wave motor. So at like for example a Nikon D810 here, if I were to use this on DX crop mode in the Nikon D810, it's a hair over 15 megapixels. If you have a Nikon D750, which is what I'm filming this on, in 14-bit lossless compressed, it's 13, just a hair over 13 megapixels, which is still well above a Nikon D3, and when it comes to making some really awesome prints, that's more than enough. And you'll always get your money back out of this. I mean, if you buy one clean and cheap at between $550 to $600, which is a no-brainer, then that pretty much is the answer, because when it comes to like a fast portraiture slash wedding lens, if you don't have the money for this, which you basically can't grab one of these for in decent shape for under $1,100. I mean, if the stars are aligned right, sure you can, but basically $1,100 if it's in decent shape. So that is that. So 15 megapixels on the Nikon D810, and 13 megapixels on the Nikon D750. This lens does have a lot of glass in it, but it does actually have really great distortion, meaning lack of distortion, and it is also a perfect range and a perfectly fast lens with great color saturation. I can't say it has the best micro contrast in the world, but it's actually not bad considering what it is, the amount of aspherical and ED elements and the number of elements in totality on the 17 to 55. But obviously I would never buy this new for $1,500, but it is incredibly high quality Japanese precision, and this lens is meant to be the DX cousin of this lens. I mean, it's not by happenstance that Nikon made this focal range for that. Now it is internal focus, but the zooming is not internal, so you will have some movement on the zoom in two directions from the midpoint, which is right about 35. Here's 17 millimeters. Here's the null point at 35 millimeters, and back out to 55 millimeters. So once again, this is basically a 26 millimeter to 82 millimeter equivalent, very fast lens. Actually, even though this does not have vibration reduction, which of course this one doesn't either except for the new one, and the new one is huge, expensive, and it sucks. I mentioned to everybody that when the secondary version of this came out that it would suck, and I was right. It's gotten worse. but it does have vibration reduction. Well, that's great, but you know, millions of photographers for weddings and whatnot were using this lens without vibration reduction. I would rather have this better lens without vibration reduction than a new one with vibration reduction. So anyway, this is a great economical choice, and if you snag one between $500 and $600, you're never going to lose your fanny on it. As long as you take good care of it, you'll always be able to sell it. And check out the next video, and I'll talk about why this is actually my favorite manual. Obviously, it's not going to autofocus. My favorite manual focus Fuji lens. But take that into consideration. So, $1,100 used, or use this in crop mode if you have a full frame camera, or if you have a Nikon D7100. You know, let's say you got a Nikon. There's like a bazillion people that own a Nikon D7100. Here it is. Unlike the this is a 17 to 35, which is the full frame lens, which has plastic internal elements. That lens is a no-no. This is actually an exquisite, very well-made lens. If you have a Nikon D7100, you know, $500, $600, you want to upgrade later, which technically nobody ever has to bloody well upgrade. But if you do decide to use that, carry this over to your upgraded camera that you later decide to get like a D750, D810, or whatever Nikon rolls out, then using this lens on a full frame camera in crop mode is, you know, a far cry from bad. I mean, people kind of cringe at the notion, I would never have like a Nikon D810 or D750 and use that lens and, you know, use my camera in crop mode. It's like, well, why the hell not? It's 15 megapixels on this and 13 on the D750. You know, there's like a bazillion professional wedding photographers that were shooting 12 megapixels on a Nikon D3, and nobody was, you know, bitching about the prints that came out of the Nikon D3. People were still using it, and that's a 12 megapixels. So this on D750, 13 megapixels. You know, as long as you got that nice depth of field isolation, who cares? You know, how many wedding portraits are you blowing up past 20 by 30 megapixels anyway? This is perfectly fine. Unless you plan on cropping the hell out of it, it's perfectly fine in 20 by 30. So anyway, that's the economic choice so far as a wedding / portraiture lens, if you can't afford this one used or new, obviously. So anyway, that is the review. One of the few lenses that I'd left to review that people keep asking about, the 1755 DX EDIF NIKKOR with a silent wave motor. And it's a rather heavy little beast too, by the way. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you later. Bye.